About Remembrance Day. I want to,
Yeah.
Charles Adler has been all over you on this, on the air here, and all through this, I've just thought, well, I want to give you today the opportunity to clarify your comments. Is what he is saying what you said?
Look, what I said was we owe tremendous debt to our veterans. They've sacrificed, in many cases, their lives to protect the quality of life we have in this country, our democracy, our freedoms, including freedom of religion and freedom of speech. Those things are fundamental to our way of life, and we owe a tremendous debt to our veterans, which is why we issued the license plate last week, which is why we recognized the Dieppe veterans when France was in Manitoba, which is why we did the Highway of Heroes, which has got very prominent signage on Highway number 1 now. And all of those things are, and why we extended the vote to soldiers and armed forces that are outside of Manitoba when it comes to Manitoba elections. So it's important that we recognize it, and we encourage everybody to do it. And we'd like to continue to see it happen all throughout Manitoba and the country. However, people's right to religious expression is protected by our Constitution. And that's what we fought for. We would, even if I disagree with those folks, they have that right anywhere in Canada.
Any parent has the right to opt out or have their children opt out then for religious reasons. Am I getting the wording right?
Correct. It's very rare, but it does happen. And it's protected by our Constitution and our Charter of Rights and Freedoms. And that's what we fought for, even if we disagree with it.
And you would disagree with that?
I prefer everybody recognize and acknowledge the role our veterans have played in protecting the way of life that we have. Mm-hmm. And that's why we encourage these activities in our schools. And it's why it's protected all across the country.
All right. Well, there you go. So, Chuck may talk about you should go on, and if you want, I kind of know the guy, right? Like I see him in the hall once in a while. I can say, hey, let's get the premier on your show. So just know that I'm sure that opportunity is there.
I'm sure it is.
I don't have to go and ask him.
I'm sure it is.
You'd be on in a second if you wanted to go on.
You know what? What's important is that we continue to honor our vets for the sacrifices they've made, not only overseas, but here in the flood as well. They were doing tremendous work for all of us, and we know they're a very important part of our community, and we will continue to find ways to recognize and honor them in this province, as well as around the country.
And I wanted to give you the opportunity
to
clarify whether you choose to go on his show or not.
But you know what? We're also protecting free speech in this country, too, so Charles can do what he wants to do on his show.
All right. And there you go. All right. So that's, I wanted to give you that opportunity. It's done. Chuck can take it and do with it what he wants. But I'll tell you what, it's been some good radio.
I'll bet he's having fun.
No, I don't think it's even about him. Chuck is one of the most passionate, caring people I know. But I felt in all of this that other than those original comments, I felt like your voice was missing in the story.
And I appreciate the opportunity, but again, most important thing is to remember it's lest we forget. That's the point of Remembrance Day. If we forget the sacrifices we make, we start taking our democracy and the way of life we have for granted. That would be the mistake, and we need to educate our younger generations, not just on Remembrance Day, but also in our curriculum that everybody has to follow.
Boy, these pictures of